professor of Africana Studies at Cornell University, and she joins us now from Ithaca, New York. Thanks so much for being with us. You know, the overall African-American population is only about 13%. But why could it prove pivotal in this 2020 election?
Well, basically, I think we have been so polarized that people feel like they have to come out and vote and do something. There's a lot of evidence of white supremacist caravans driving around towns and intimidating people in Fort Lauderdale, where I live close to right now as I work from home. One sees them doing that in the nighttime, flags and a lot of intimidation. So I think Black people are worried that the gains that people had acquired during the struggles for civil rights and subsequent movements are being eroded and were eroded under this past president, Donald Trump, which we hope is past. That was a good slip I just made in saying past president. So we hope that this is over because American democracy is really at the test. I think people are wondering what can happen if he wins. People do not see a pleasant future, not just in the U.S., but globally. So this is the fear that I hear from my friends.
Okay, so now, I mean, from what we're hearing, they're coming out in force. But we heard, you know, going into the 2016 election, Trump said plenty of controversial things, and he was already by many called racist. So why didn't voters come out Black voters in particular, in 2016 to vote against him then?
I think it's not so much, I don't blame Black voters completely. I think the Hillary Clinton campaign did not do all that it could do in order to make sure that we had the vote. So the extent to which one sees Barack Obama out now campaigning, one didn't see a version of that. I think it was, in his view now, a kind of crisis situation which pushed him to come all the way out and campaign so heavily for Biden. That did not happen the other around. And I think people were complacent. They somehow thought things would materialize. But then the tragedy of what happened afterwards, I think, really knocked people out the next day. And I think people are really certain they don't want that to happen again.
Okay. Tell me something. In this 2020 vote, are they drawn to Kamala Harris?
Definitely. Caribbean America, for sure, very strong. There's a Caribbean Americans for Biden and Harris. And there are a lot of other groups, sororities, Black sororities across the U.S., African Americans in Georgia, the work of Stacey Abrams, really developing a mission to really bring out the vote has been really critical. So I think Kamala has sort of played it kind of not as strongly as she could have because I think did not want to really overshadow the presidential candidate. But clearly, she is a strong progressive candidate. And forget about all that talk about socialism. People are not really socialists at all. Keep in mind that that label of socialist is applied to everybody who wants any kind of rights in the United States. So it was applied to Martin Luther King Jr. Think about that. It's always applied. So I want to tell your viewers to not even listen to that. That's a kind of scare tactic, which is applied to anybody who is fighting for Black rights or any kind of rights for women or the dispossessed. And that does not mean they're socialists, which is a whole different philosophical and political system, which is definitely not in place in the United States and definitely not in the Democratic Party. Come on, man.
It's amazing how that has been turned into this bad word in the United States, while the socialist democracies, the social democracies of Europe are some of the most advanced, fair and equal democracies on the planet. Okay, Carole Boyce-Davies, unfortunately, we're going to have to leave it there. Thank you so much for being with us.